My name is Rendani, and I'll be the one looking after you throughout the program. And my role is quite simple. I am the academic head for the program. So a lot of the thinking is what myself and the rest of the professional team have worked together in putting for you in order to achieve the objective of this course, which we're going to unpack quite a lot in detail in today's session. And the idea for today really is for you to be able to get to know the organization, the team that you will be working with throughout the program, and the team that will be supporting you, and just to better understand how we'll be engaging with you, and more importantly, understanding the vision that we have for the program. Because it's very important when we kick off that you understand what is it that we are trying to do, and just to make sure that maybe whatever you are looking for is what the program it's meant to what it's meant to give you. And it's very important that at this point, then there's that alignment. So if there's anything that you will want to ask, clarify, this will be a very good starting point. But you will then get to see that we are very pleasant team, and we'll want to just make sure at every point in this journey, you've got the support that you need, and you've got clarity in terms of how we are doing things and why we are doing things. And also, as part of that, the last part is for you to then just understand the different phases that we've put together and how they are supposed to contribute to that bigger vision. And that will be one of the biggest things that we're going to be doing today. Then afterwards, which is part of the transition to CA phase, which is really the first phase in the program or in the course, we are going to just introduce you to understand the kind of expectation that the CA profession has, and therefore what you will then need to do and therefore work together in order to achieve. And remember that the idea of this particular course, it's meant to be a preparatory course to the APC professional program. So essentially, it is very important that you understand its role, because once we get to the APC, it's a very, it can get a little bit busy fast, but sometimes the pace of it has got some preconception, has got some assumptions about the kind of technical that each and everyone in the program has. And therefore, a program like this then helps you to really settle in much quicker, to really get to understand what the likes of Psych and ICAS are looking to achieve, and why the CA designation has got such a position in the marketplace. So those are then, in a nutshell, how our day is going to look like. And it therefore follows that my agenda, let me just go to it. It therefore follows that my agenda will just be threefold for the welcome part before we explore the accounting piece. So the first part, it will be just to welcome you, get to know who we are and our team. And number two is to just understand why we are here and what, excuse me, where we are really therefore going. And it's just beyond the assessment, but it's really about the CA qualification, the profession in its entirety. What does it stand for? Then the last part will then be, how does then the course work? How is it structured? How do you need to prepare yourself? And what will be expected of you throughout? So that is it in the welcome. 3 things that we are going to talk about, and we are done with the welcome. Then, to just jump into it. So who we are. So we are Endunamoo. we've got 3 brands that we currently operate. One of the things that is quite distinct about the brands that we've got is their level of integration. So these brands are very much integrated, and that is something that makes us quite unique in the market, and that makes us to be in a position to offer you a program that is mindful of your background as well as mindful of where you need to go. So we are able to bring all this because of the different engagements that we have with various candidates within our programs. So just to give you an understanding, the first brand, which is the Institute, this is the legacy brand that we've always had and that we started with in terms of 10 years ago. Yes, it has changed names, but in terms of what it does, it has been the brand that we've had 10 years ago. And essentially, its roots are from supporting UNISA candidates. So it was created in order to support candidates that were with UNISA and don't have comprehensive support for a rigorous program such as CTA. And from that kind of support, we then grew, and then our candidates needed support beyond CTA support, needed support at ITC as well as the APC. And that's when, in about 2 to 3 years later, we then launched our Endunamoo board course, which then looks after our candidates at the ITC level. We support them when it comes to sitting for ITC Gen, as well as sitting for ITC June. And the idea really is that we have found that some of the candidates are either repeats, some of them were, say, private tuition providers, as in they were long distance and they had to learn from their own, which meant that when they get to ITC, sometimes the foundations were a little bit tricky and they needed comprehensive support. And that's where we then recognized the need to better integrate our brands between the Institute as well as the ITC that supported CTA and ITC candidates respectively. And one of the things that we currently do that is quite unique is that candidates that are registered in our ITC program, we then offer them access to videos that we do in our CTA programs, because that helps them to have the technical grounding that is required for success in the ITC. So ITC is commonly referred to as a very technical assessment, but its idea is to then build the grounding of what we're going to be assessing in the APC and the kind of technical rigor that is then expected from a CA. Then thereafter, we've got our EPC brand. The EPC brand is our SAICA and ICAS accredited APC professional program. So we have a very comprehensive program that supports candidates that are either attempting APC for the first time, are repeating APC, they are CIMA professional, ACC members. So it's a very diverse profile of candidates. And because of that, because of the uniqueness, we've really then went an extra step to make sure that the candidates' needs are then recognized, and therefore the program is adaptable to those needs. But over the past couple of years after the introduction of the SAICA CIMA pathway, ICAS CIMA pathway, we have come to recognize that in some instances, there are things that within the program are a little bit tricky to resolve because they require time. And usually it's not just it's impossible, it's just the luxury of time in this qualification, especially for those that are already working, and even more for those that are working in senior position. Time becomes a very crucial luxury. And therefore, to really cramp up the work in the EPC was proving to be very challenging and somewhat defeating the effectiveness of the program. And that's where the CCC program really then came from, to then say that, wait, the core issue that needs to be solved here, it's time. And that's the feedback that we always had, to say that we are doing quite a lot in a very short period of time. Then in order to address that, we then said, let's have therefore a fully fledged program that will then focus on providing time, but not undermining the rigor that will then be expected at the APC level. So the APC, it's quite a technical assessment, and even globally, it's recognized as a very technical assessment. And for one to go into it without that technical grounding can be a little bit tricky. It's not that it's an impossible mission, but it has a number of factors that one needs to consider. So our vision is that by the time we get you there, you will be technical experts. You don't need to know everything, say, that the CTA candidates have done, but you just need to know the core of it, and everything else will be embedded as part of your long life learning skills. So these are the three brands that work together in order to deliver the different programs. So now when it comes to CCC, this particular course, it falls under our institute brand, and therefore leveraging the expertise that we have from supporting CTA candidates, ITC candidates, and a little bit of the expertise from APC candidates. And you'll get to understand how so when we get to unpack it even more. Okay, then in terms of then the people that you will be working with throughout the program, as I said, it's a very comprehensive team. A lot of the team members who have been with us for a number of years, plus 4 years, and therefore they've come to embrace our ethos of really being candidate-centric and recognizing the value of integrated thinking. So just on top, as I've already said, my name is Serendani, and I'll be your academic head. And therefore, to clarify, my role is to ensure that this program achieves its intended objectives, that by the time you are done, you are able to say that, yeah, when it comes to any technical accounting task, give it to me, and I'll be able to deliver excellence when it comes to it. I'm then supported by the two senior management team, which is Erwani and also Fedi. So Ere is our MD, and what she does is to just look after you from an administration perspective. So she works with our caretaking team as well as our contractors team in order to ensure that whatever we've committed to, we're able to deliver to you. So this ranges from all the commitments that are there in the welcome note, the monthly notes that you will be getting, as well as just to coordinate the lecturers that need to present, and also coordinate other aspects of your learning journey. Then Fedi, on the other hand, is very instrumental in terms of just saying that the kind of requirements that he believes are critical for the APC are fed into the design and delivery of the CCC course. And therefore, when it comes to some of the thinking, there is extensive consultation with him to just say, what are the themes from an APC perspective? We are seeing a declining trend in the APC. Is there something that we can do now in the CCC in order to improve the success of our candidates within the program as well as beyond the program? And for us, it's something that we want to just make sure that whoever goes into this program is really successful, not only in our program, but as well as in the in the APC. So the idea is to have everyone here sitting for APC end of 2025 and getting a positive outcome come Feb 2026. So that is our idea. And that is why myself, as well as Fred, we work together in order to put in the right technical elements to ensure the effectiveness of the program. We are supported by the following discipline heads. When it comes to accounting, it is Asen. Asen is an IFRS specialist, passionate about IFRS, and also just contributing to the development of IFRS and some of those technical aspects. Then we've got Unati, who is our governance head, and she looks after auditing, ethics, as well as what? As governance. Then we've got Elton. Elton is our management accounting, management decision making, financial management, strategy, and risk head. So he is a doctor specializing, also specialized in critical thinking, and also a senior lecturer at one of the South African accredited universities. For what? For math as well. So he brings that wealth of experience, expertise, and passion for your development into the program. Then on the other, on the left, we then have Matudonke, who is our tax head, and in that role, he supports or he supports the thinking as well in tax, and also assist with delivering some of the classes. He is a tax manager at one of the listed manufacturer in South Africa. Then the team that supports this program heads, we've got Richard David in the accounting team. Excuse me. So the two, or the pair, have also are also part of our CIMA program. So they bring some of that learning and expertise and just the background in terms of where you are, or where you were developed to when it comes to the CIMA qualification. And therefore, what are some of the key elements that you will need to focus on before we get to what? Before we get to the end of our CA qualification journey. CZ is a lecturer at an accredited university as well, and he specializes what? In audit. So he works closely with Unati, and they will then be the two that will be delivering the audit lectures available for you. Manda is also my colleague when it comes to math in CIMA, as well as in the CTA Pro Support Program. He will be working closely with L10 in order to deliver the program for you. And one of the things that is also quite important about him, he is involved in ITC, he's involved in our CIMA program, and again, understanding the kind of background and the kind of support that you will have already had. Then we've got Katlego, who is in our tax team as well. She is a tax specialist working for one of the big four as a tax manager there. And what she does is that she works closely with firms on value-added tax, as well as a bit of corporate income tax. So this is the team. And one of the things that I'll want you to just understand about them is that they are not just pure academics, but these are practicing professionals. So they understand from a development perspective the kind of, therefore, colleagues that they want to have, the kind of expertise that is expected from them when they hold these particular roles. So therefore, when they develop the material, when they engage with you, they are bringing that kind of view and experience and making sure that you are well equipped for them to consider you to be their colleague. you are well equipped for you to be able to work alongside them or to be someone who can be trusted beyond this course to add value in different roles because of the technical that will be supporting you with. So it's very important, and I think that's also another unique element of this program. That it's not just about the paper, it's not just about the qualification, but there is the thinking beyond to say, all right, after I've passed the APC, after I've qualified, what next? And through the engagements here, you will then have that kind of luxury. And therefore, when you engage with them, the kind of advice and the kind of support that they'll be giving you will be quite practical. So this is some of the things that I'll just want you to be mindful of when you engage. Then we are supported by our caretaking team. So the caretaking team, it is the team that therefore looks after you. You will have seen already Zelia in our WhatsApp groups. She's the one that just makes sure that things are working smoothly on the ground. So she works closely with Adam in terms of just ensuring that on the ground things are all in good order. When it comes to Peter, he focuses on what? He focuses on the online aspect because it's such a crucial part of our program. And in terms of how to get hold of them and also get appropriate support, we've just summarized it here. And the idea is just to ensure that the smooth the smooth process around query handlings and your query get to the right people without necessarily the back and forth. So for instance, email tends to be one of the most, we find that it's not as effective as an administrative query handling tool because one, we are not able to assign reference or reference IDs to the queries, and therefore it's difficult to track. But we've then reserved it for any personal queries, for any wellness engagements and professional advice that you may need from the team. And if you need that, that is the email. Then the query tool, that is the fundamental tool that we use in order to handle our program and admin related queries, including any finance related queries. And to access that, you just need to have logged into your portal, My Forms, and then click log a query. Then you will have all the typical queries that we've got. And if it's not covered, then it will be sitting under other. So when you are there, you are then able to log your query and it will then be assigned to the relevant person within our team. So when it gets there, it's monitored and it can then be assigned to say, okay, this is an online query, this is a finance query, this is a caretaking query, this is an admin query, and it can reach the right person. And all those queries are tracked, you get a notification. When it's responded to, you then get also advice in that regard. So that is our primary query handling tool that we just want you to be to be familiar with. Then the WhatsApp community, that is the community in your welcome letter. And in the WhatsApp community, you are able to do what? You are able to be connected, and you are able to be connected to us as the senior team members, to the lecturing team, to the caretaking team, as well as your other colleagues. Then we've got our WhatsApp, direct WhatsApp, that yes, if you are saying that, yeah, there is a personal matter that you cannot necessarily share, say in the WhatsApp group, you can reach out to Zelia or any of the team, and then they'll be able to assist. But if it's a general query, it's always easier to be in the WhatsApp platform, because one, it could be that this is actually an online issue and it has been handled, and maybe another candidate can easily confirm, or otherwise the team can just confirm. And also it then just helps if then the other candidates are facing the same problem and we can quickly attend to it. But when it comes to that personalization of the queries, then the query tool is the first and most efficient protocol. Then lastly, consultations, we do have technical support via one-on-one basis, where we then have our contractors team, coming into what? Coming to say that yes, if there is anything that you are worried about, it's very unique. Maybe you also want guidance given your professional background and some of the things that we are going through in the program, then you might feel that maybe a consultation one-on-one is the best avenue. And if that's the case, then you can simply click to book a consultation, and that will be then the best way you'll be able to connect. Consultation, you get a 30-minute slot where we just deal with any matter that is on your mind. So that is how we then handle the queries, and that's where then our caretaking team are involved. So they are willing and most ready to support you, and they will really value the opportunity to work with you and ensure you get the very best from them. Then, in terms of our primary communication tool, because we just outlined how to talk to us, but then how do we communicate with you? So when we talk about communication with you, we just want to make sure that that when we are administering the program, when we are running the program, you are also benefiting from it. So it is very important that you understand then the program. It is very important that you understand how it's administered. It's very important to understand the day-to-day kind of activities. So we then have three primary tools that we then use in order to communicate with you. So that will be firstly the welcome note. So when you come into the program, there is a welcome note that I will have prepared that will just on a high level give you the structure of the program. That's number one. Two, it will have given you guidance about the WhatsApp and also the communication channel that I have spoken to you about. Then number three, it will then tell you your student ID number. That is a very important number, and you need to make sure that you keep it private. And it is one program specific, so it's a number that will be applicable for this particular program. When you eventually join the APC, you get a new number. So this number will then give you access to what we call my personal folder, and I'll clarify how that works. And when you log queries or engage with us, it is the one that will always validate you. So what we do is that because of the number of program and because also of the admin and the way we've personalized our engagements, it's very important that you then are your queries are handled in a way that it does not feel like it's handled for the very first time, or we are engaging with you for the very first time. So when you use that number, it is able to connect with our ecosystem and source relevant information so that your query can be handled as efficiently as possible. So that is why that number is very important, because it's linked with your personal details. And you'll then see that when you do most of the things with it, you get an email notification. So it can highlight to you If then maybe someone is trying to use it, and therefore just know that, yeah, maybe something went wrong, and therefore you can raise that to us. So whenever you log a query, then you just need to put this number, and it will go link it to your email and then send it back. So that means no one can be able to do it, to engage with your ID number without necessarily you being notified by the email on record. So even if you want to change that email on record, we are going to require that number in order to just validate whether that's you and so on. So that is what the welcome note does. You get it obviously once, and we recommend you print it, and you then have it as your reference point. So query, there it is. What we're going to cover, there it is. Who is who, there it is. What is the KMB form, there it is. Then we've got what we call face notes. Face notes are our technical notes. So face notes are our technical notes. So the technical notes, how do they work? They then talk to you to clarify the technical work that we are going to do, we are going to cover. And even more, they tell you why this phase exists and what you are supposed to get from it. So they've got what we call learning objectives. So the face note will then tell you, 1, what to do before class. 2, why are we going to do this? What is the objective? 3, what is it that we are going to do in class? And 4, what do you need to do after class? So that's what the face note will do. 1, what to do before class. 2, or maybe let's start from the top, why we have this class. 2, what do you need to do before this class? 3, what we are going to do in the class. 4, what do you need to do after class? So that's our face note, very technical. And if there is anything that you need or don't understand from there, that's where I come in. So the caretakers, because it's a very technical note, the caretakers might not necessarily be familiar of the expectation when we're saying that you need to prepare by watching video 16 and just make sure that you do the exercise there. So if you go to a caretaker and say, where is the exercise? They might not know whether the exercise is actually in the slide or it's actually something that is in the standard, and that could create a little bit of a disconnect because the things that are there are very technical. So accordingly, all queries relating to the face note, you can direct them to me via the WhatsApp, or you can email me directly. So that is how then that works. So the face notes, very technical, and therefore queries either to myself or to the specific lecturers because we work together to prepare those. Then the monthly notes. So the monthly notes, that's where now the caretakers come in and the MD. So they come in to now put an operational plan to it, to say that, okay, they are going to cover this and this. Then this is saying that they need to go and ask or get this question. Is the question available? Is it where the candidate, where will the candidates get it? So they will then provide guidance that this question that we are talking about here, you'll then be able to access it here and here. And number 2, they will then also say that if there is a class that needs to happen, where are the links? Are the links on the website? Has the timetable reminder been sent? Tick, 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 tick. That's what then the monthly notes do. If there are key reminders, like maybe there is a submission due, maybe there is a task required from you that you need to submit. So the guidance for submission, the reminder for those submissions are all in there. So they're detailed on a weekly basis to say that week 1, this is what we're covering, this is what you need, this is where you're going to get it, and so on. Week 2, you need to remember to submit. To submit, you need to go here and here. Week 4, you need to do so and so on and so on. That is the monthly note. So 1 outlines the weekly activities. 2, the key deadlines. 3, provide guidance on the location of key documents and clarifies the expectations on the timetable and the face note. So why is it important? Because we understand that as much as you might be here and committed to this journey, you are juggling a number of things, work commitments, you are juggling family commitments and other commitments. So we want to say that whenever maybe the time comes and you are really hectic and you are unable, say, to attend to a class and so on, and maybe you miss, say, 1 week or 2 weeks of work and you have to come back, are you able to easily come back? So that's what the objective of the face note and the monthly notes are supposed to do. That you can quickly pick up that, wait, when I left, we were here. They had said they were going to do this over the next 2 weeks. So I've missed just this. And they said, if I needed to do this, I would have needed to come here and get the material. Oh, I got it. Have I missed any submission? Or I've missed, but there are solutions that I can work through. There are videos that I can work through. And that is the idea right there. So the idea is to help you to navigate the program at any point, regardless of your circumstances. Then my personal folder. So my personal folder, it saves your personal information, and it is linked and secured via the link we've given you. And there is an option to heighten its security by personalizing it to your OneDrive email address. Excuse me. So the idea is everything that you need and that is available to everyone. Your face notes, monthly notes, they will be in the portal. But there might be submissions that you make. So there are several submissions in this program. There is also the submission of the KMB and other personal related submissions. So those things, we have created a secured folder for you. So the link to that folder is in your welcome letter. So by clicking that link, it will take you to that folder, and you are the only one that has got what? That is that folder. So that folder, when it comes to you, it does not have any login details. It is secured because the letter is only sent to you and it's linked to your email address. But if you are saying that I just want an extra level of security, you can create a OneDrive, and that OneDrive is simply a cloud storage, and your cloud storage is always secure using Microsoft's high-level security, and you will need to log into that OneDrive. So if you then have that OneDrive, which is a free account, you can just quickly register it, just say OneDrive, enter your email and say free account, done. But once you are there, you can then ask the online by logging a query and say, can you now link that OneDrive personal folder to my personal OneDrive? What is the benefit of that? It means that the link that we had given you and is secured by being sent to you specifically, what it means that now going forward, whenever you submit, whenever you do things, then things just go directly into your account, OneDrive account. And if anyone wants that link, they will need to know what is your password on email, and therefore that's where the security comes in. So it's just like a legal safe box. So it does not sit on our portal, but it sits outside the infrastructure of the portal, and it is therefore secured because of that it's not sitting anywhere. It's only sitting on that welcome note as well as on your email address. But to make it a little bit more secured, you can link it to your OneDrive. So if you want then the guidance is also there on the welcome pages. There's a little video that explain how it works and what you can expect to have in there, how to go about securing it. Because security, very important in this day and age. Then I see red. Let me see the chat. I am struggling to access the KMB. What does it say, Nomfundo, when you try to open it?
Morning.
Morning.
I hope you can hear me. So it requires the email address, but as soon as I put in my personal email address, it says it doesn't allow that. It should be a work or school email address. When I try to use my work address, there's security issues there. So I'm not really sure how to access it.
All right. Yeah, no, it seems that it's secured using our email. So let me just note it. But that just needs to be removed. But you've got your student ID, right? Because it will ask for that once they remove that. Let me just note it though.
Is it a single digit?
Yeah, it will be a single digit because this will be a new program. So that will be that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
happy I have it, yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nomfundo. So let me just quickly note it. Where's my notes? Right. I see Helen say I'm able to log into my profile. When you say profile, which profile are you talking about? Just to make sure I'm with you.
Okay, thank you, Rendan. Now, when I go to Endunamoo website where it says log in, I'm able to go there and then I'm able to see the material or videos that have been loaded there.
Sure.
But I think earlier on in your presentation, you mentioned about personal ID number where you use it to log in queries. So I was actually checking into that profile to see if those details are in there. So I wasn't so sure what you're actually talking about. I'm a little bit confused. Like, is it two different things or?
So did you have you received the welcome letter?
Yes, I received the welcome letter this morning. So I tried to open one of the letter. The slides are there on, I think it's on OneDrive. But I wasn't so sure because it says sign in, but I can see those slides in there. So I'm actually confused, like which is which. Is it the OneDrive or is it the profile that I access on your website? Like which is which?
Yes, so the online show, the profile you need to log in is only the what do you call it? It's only the website. So the website, that's where you, as you're saying, you get your material, you get your videos. So that's the general space. But in your welcome letter, next to your student number, there should be a link there.
Okay, I think
So,
yeah, I think
so
let me check on that because I wasn't so sure of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I did not receive the welcome letter. So Linda, I've noted. I'll speak to the team. And I'll check if they can assist during break. Got that, Linda? So that's your official registered name, right? Just to make sure when I follow up. Linda?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it is.
All right, great. Okay, sure. All right, so I'll just follow up on the KMB and then Ellen will talk if you still need clarity and then got that, Linda, sure. So just to give you a glimpse of the portal, so this is how the portal looks like. And to clarify, throughout this course, you're going to have 5 things. So again, if you don't have 5 things, you can either drop a query to us and they'll need to quickly fix that for you. So what are those 5 things? So the first one, it'll be the CA conversion course on top. And then it'll be the CT on demand audit, tax, accounting, and math. So To clarify, when you click the CA conversion course, it will open the structure as per the timetable. So it will open the structure as per the timetable. So how will then that work? It means that going forward, today we are doing the welcome. So if let's say for one reason, maybe you are disconnected or there's something that you need to attend to and you can't finish the class, you will then find the information under what? The general information. And now when we start unpicking IFRIs, all the sessions that we're going to have, we're going to put them under the unpicking IFRIs. Then come audit, we'll put them there. So we have then structured this portal to look like your timetable. So the other thing that we're going to add is just the session number as per the timetable, so that, as I'm saying, if maybe you are unable to attend a live class, you can come here and say, I've missed on the timetable session number 3.1, 3.5, 3.7, then where are they? So this is going to mirror the timetable so that your life is easier when it comes to locating any content that you might have missed or that you might not have had. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Then on top, we've got my courses, welcome, pay now, and so on. So that's your menu, and those are the kind of things that you're gonna need. So as I was saying earlier, my forms, that's where if you click, you'll then see the Know Me Better that Nomfundo was talking about. We just need to fix that. And then number 2, you'll see log a query. And when you click that, it will then say enter your student ID number. And it will say, what is your query? And it will ask you some multiple choice so that it sends it to the right person, as well as to describe the issue. So that is the query form that I was referring to earlier on. Pay now, it's got some guidance in terms of if you're paying via EFT and so on and so on. Welcome, it's got additional guidance. So maybe you're confused, you are sitting here and saying, wait, where do I get the material? Where do I do this? Where do I do this? And so on and so on. The welcome has got some general guidance that you can find to be very useful. But all this guidance, we then summarize them in the monthly note whenever they become relevant. So in most cases, the things that you need to know will then be already in your monthly note, and therefore making it easier to navigate. Then my courses, as I said, that's where you're going to be accessing the material, everything. So what happens is when we upload new content, you get an email. So like even after this class, when it gets uploaded, you're going to get an email of it's now been uploaded and where it is. Number 2, when we upload new content, you'll also get an email. So if you don't or you have not received any of the emails, then also you can just go into the group and say that I've not received any email to date. So if you have not, then yeah, there's something that we need to fix as well, just to make sure you don't miss any future communication. So when we upload our face note, our monthly note, when we upload new videos, whether they are live classes or pre-recorded, when we upload tutorials, when we upload anything, you will then be able to do what? You will then be able to you'll then get an email to advise you where it is and when it was uploaded. So that's very important so that at least you know when there's new content and you are therefore mindful to engage with it, say ahead of class or outside the class. So that is how then the portal works. And everything, as I'm saying in here, is general information and available to everyone enrolled into the course. So that's that. And that are just some of what? That are just some of the welcome details that I believe are important. But as I'm saying, once you have your welcome letter, once you have a face note, once you have the monthly note, some of these things will then start clearing up to say, oh, this is what Renan was talking about. I see now this objective. I see what is expected. I see, and so on and so on. So I'll give you and show you a glimpse of the transition to CA phase note that we've now issued, and also just how we are thinking about it and how you should be thinking about it. So that is what that is that. So before we get to the next section, how can I update my email address? Yeah, so to update your email address, you can just quickly log a query. I attempted on the system, however, yeah, so if you do on the system, so yeah, so the email system, because they are different bases. So I think for you, yeah, because when you log a query, it will just send it to the administrator. And I think just send an email instead. If you can use that address to send an email, because if you're saying they're going to someone else, it means when you log a query, the confirmation will go to someone else. So to just prevent that, just send an email and say that, yeah, this is what you want. And then I'll just check in with the team to assist with that. Okay. All right. So yeah, that is just on a high level how we are going to be running the program. But as I said, at any point, if you're unclear, if there's something that doesn't make sense, the team and myself are there to guide you and to provide that